Hi guys, my name is Michael. Welcome back. So in this video, I'd like to bring your attention to a few things. As you guys know, we're still picking up the pieces from last week's event. And when you take a look at the conversations, about last week's event, on Twitter, on YouTube, most people are focused on Bitcoin and XRP. So today I just want to bring your attention to XLM, Stellar Lumen, right? And, this is one of the projects that I've talked about, quite a lot on my channel. And as you guys know, I'm very bullish on Stellar Lumens. I've actually said in one of my videos that I believe that Stellar will outperform XRP in the short term. So I'm really bullish on this token, even though a lot of people feel like, based on last performance, Stellar's performance in the last altcoin season, a lot of people believe that, Stellar is not worth it. But I strongly believe that this time, Stellar is going to participate fully, if we do have an altcoin season, because when you take a look at what has been going on the network, the partnerships, the development, how far and how robust the network is right now, then you understand that this particular project has a future in the new global financial system. So let's talk about some of the news that is making traders bullish about Stellar right now. So if you take a look at this article, it says here why XLM traders are turning bullish despite 60% flash crash. If you didn't know, during the flash crash of last week, XLM actually dropped, over 50%, I think close to 60%. I think it got to around 17 cents at one point. So if you're someone that took advantage of that dip, I'm sure you're probably up right now. So it says here, despite suffering a dramatic 60% flash crash earlier this month, Stellar is drawing renewed optimism from traders and institutions alike. Behind the recovery hopes lie a unique mixture of fundamentals, developments, including the launch of a new physically backed ETP and key partnerships. So this, apart from the fundamentals, apart from the developments that are happening in the Stellar network, we are seeing some of the Stellar tokens do well. We're talking about stronghold value. So a lot is going on the network. But aside those developments, right, what we saw this week was the launch of the first Stellar ETP. And an ETP is the equivalent of an ETF, but an ETP is designed specifically for the European market. So WisdomTree has launched the first, spot XLM ETP. And this is just really amazing for XLM, because when you think about ETF chatter, right, a lot of people are talking about, a lot of people are excited about the approval of the XRP ETFs, which is coming later this month, I think next week or so. People talk about that and how that is going to be bullish for XRP as a project. But, you don't hear anything. You don't hear any company. You don't hear Grayscale or, Bitwise or, all these companies putting together an XLM ETF. Do you get? So this is the first one. And I believe that this is really bullish for XLM holders. This is really good for people who are holding XLM. So it says here, WisdomTree's XLM ETP and Stellar's institutional momentum spark renewed optimism on the 14th of October. Remember, the flash crash happened on the 10th, right? And so on the 14th, WisdomTree launched their ETP. So it just tells you, that a lot of institutional investors were really active during that flash crash. So on the 14th of October, WisdomTree announced the launch of its physical Stellar Lumens ETP across Europe. It is listed on the Swiss 6 exchange, Euronext in Paris, Amsterdam, and a forthcoming debut is expected in the Deutsche Xetra. So this is a physically backed ETP. So this is not, sort of a derivative or, leverage ETP. This is spot, physically backed, and it's backed one-to-one. So if you take a look at this article here, it says the new product, WisdomTree has listed the new product offers direct exposure to the price movement of Stellar XLM. Physically backed, each share of the ETP is backed one-to-one by real cryptocurrency held in secure custody. So each WisdomTree ETP that you buy is equivalent of one Stellar token, one Stellar token. Yeah, so it's backed one-to-one. Do you get? So every time you buy this ETP, WisdomTree goes into the market to buy more Stellar Lumen, and this is really bullish because the more demand we have for the Stellar token, the more the price of the token appreciates, supply and demand and all that. So this is really good for XLM holders. I think this is positive news, for people who are holding XLM. It says here that the product is already listed on exchanges such as Deutsche, Xetra, SIX Swiss Exchange, and Euronext, just like we talked about. And the reason why we're talking about this is that a lot of people talk about how positive, the XRP ETFs will be for the XRP project, because when these ETFs, these spot ETFs start buying XRP out of the market, it will create scarcity of the token, which will make the prices go up. But when you take a look at the XRP, as a project, XRP has 100 billion token max, tokens out there, and 44 billion of those tokens, or over 40 billion of those tokens, are held in escrow with Ripple. But when you take a look at XLM Stellar, they've got just half the size of Ripple. So it's just 50 billion XLM token maximum. No other XLM token can be created, right? So it's a deflationary token. Do you get, when you think about the tokens that are being burnt on the Stellar network, on a daily basis, the amount of activity, transactions that exist on the Stellar network, right now, do you get? And then you take a look at this launch of this ETP, do you get? And then you look at the max supply of Stellar lumens, then just begins to give you an understanding that, as we move further down, the Stellar token will become valuable. Because when you take a look at the max supply here, 50 billion, 32 billion of those tokens are already in circulation. You have less than 50%, held with the Stellar Development Foundation. So this is really bullish for Stellar, because when you're talking about scarcity, right? Stellar is scarcer than XRP, right? XRP has got 100 billion max supply, while Stellar is 50 billion. And as we see these ETPs come online, they are going to create scarcity of the Stellar token. So I believe that down the line, given the amount of activity on the Stellar network, when you think about projects like Stronghold, Velo, Franklin Templeton, a lot of activity is going on the Stellar network. And all those activities, they are burning lumens, to run on the Stellar network. And then also, to hold a Stellar, I think if you're someone who is registered on the Lobster wallet, right, you need to have a minimum balance, on your Stellar account. I think there's a minimum balance of XLM that needs to be in your account, so you cannot have zero, basically. So when you think about all these different factors, it's just telling you that down the line in the future, XLM is going to be reduce, or it's going to be scarcer, if I can put it that way. And this means that the price and the value of the token, of each token, is definitely going to go up. Do you get? And for someone like me who is really bullish on XLM, I think these events or these activities that we are seeing are really positive for XLM holders. Do you get? Beyond all the hype, XLM is creating real utility. If you go and take a look at what is going on the Stellar network, they've got everything that is needed for a project to succeed. USDC integration, you've got so many other really amazing projects coming online there as well. So anyway, guys, I just wanted to bring this to your attention. If you're someone that's holding XLM, this is more reason to be bullish on that project. Like I said in my previous video, I believe that XLM is the dark horse. A lot of people do not pay attention to it. As you guys know, XLM doesn't have the same crowd or hype like XRP and other projects, but I believe that this is one project that is going to surprise many in the future. So I just thought I'd bring this to your attention. If you're someone that's holding on to XLM, more reason to be bullish, more reason to DCA if the opportunity presents itself. But remember, guys, nothing I say in this video is financial advice. Please always do your own due diligence and do your research. I'm going to leave it here for now, guys. If you like videos like this, please click on the like button, subscribe to the channel. And if you want access to my exclusive content, please consider joining the membership group. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye for now.